reason I was asking about Instagram is because I'll post this all over the place later when we're done.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to yet another Topic Time Zoom interview. I am loving this Zoom thing because we can go anywhere. And we have an awesome guest today. She's in Brooklyn. Last night, we did a show at my Area 58 location from the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Today, we got a show from Brooklyn. All these beautiful New York women that I'm interviewing, and it's been a great run, and it just keeps getting better and better. Jessie Nelson is a musician, a drummer, and she's been in some bands, and we're going to watch a little clip of her work about halfway through the show. But as usual, before we get to her, got to read these awesome underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. Don't have too many, but they're all great, so we read them off. So I want to thank Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, #1 in the dealer ratings for Massachusetts for 2021 out of 4,500. Been with me since the beginning. Great in customer service. We got Sure Shine Professional Detailing and Hand Wash in Abington. Always looking for new talent. We got the barber shop in Whitman. We got John's Greenhouses and Flower Shop in Brockton. We got a new one, Ricky Grasso of Suffolk Construction in Boston. We got A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton. Always looking for new techs and service writers. We got Auto Town Auto Glass and Auto Body in Abington. We got 5 Corner Auto Sales in Brockton. Always good credit, best prices on the South Shore. We got Radiologist 101 Barbershop in Brockton. We got Manny's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Mirrors here in Champ's Boutique in Brockton. We got Nautical Mile Leases Lobster in Whitman. We got Eastern Fitness right in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got the Gun Runner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights for customers and friends. We got Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got Chapin Sheds in Whitman. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater, and we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now on that note, I will officially introduce Ms. Jessie Nelson. Jessie, we've already started talking about your deal, and it sounds fascinating. As I said, you're a very lovely lady. I can't. If you want to mention your age, you totally floored me with the.
It's fine. No, it's totally cool. They say in the business you mention your age. I don't care. I'm 40, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm almost 60.
I look 29. I feel great. I'm not worried about
29.
it.
You look more like 19. Seriously, no, you're an amazing looking woman, and that's probably the reason I reached out to you originally. That always gets my attention.
Hashtag sexist, but that's okay. Anyway.
No, it's not really. I mean, if you're good for ratings, you're good for ratings. I admit
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Jessie. So you're a Brooklynite. You're sitting there in that Brooklyn apartment, and it looks nice, nice and homey. Now, what I do with every guest, regardless of whether they're in person with me or somewhere else, is I talk about their profile, their childhood, how they got to where they're at. Everybody has a past. Everybody has had ambitions that got them to where they're at, and we're going to do the same with you. So tell me about.
Oh my God. So my story is really crazy, but it's great.
I love crazy, but the crazier the better.
It's great.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. So when I was like 15, 16, I was like, I want to be a drummer. I didn't know if I was going to get to be a drummer. So I was a music journalist for 6 years.
All right. If I see a reason to interject, I'm going to. Now you said, what about when you were a little kid? Like, when you're single.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious. Was there anything at that?
That's okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. My parents worked in theater. My mother was a lighting designer. My dad built sets.
Okay.
They both ended up teaching.
Did either of them do acting at all?
No.
Or music?
No, it wasn't my thing. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. I was a flute player from the age of 8 to 18, and when I was 15, 16, I was like, oh my God, I want to play the drums, but I didn't know if I was going to do that. So I got myself an internship at the Village Voice, and I did that when I was 20. Okay. But when I was 17, I heard Tony Williams on a Miles Davis record and said, I want to do that.
Okay, that's a drummer.
And that was my yes. Okay. And then also, as a side note to that, anybody who's into Sonic Youth, I had just bought when I was 16, the Sonic Youth album Goo, and Kim Gordon was on there, and she wrote a song about a girl who played drums, and I was 16, and it was 19.
You know who the most famous female drummer is? I'm going to test your trivia knowledge. Who would that be? She's deceased long ago, but she was a beautiful woman, and she was a member of a brother and sister team. Who would that be?
Oh fuck! Is it? No, wait! Hold it. Is it Karen Carpenter?
It is indeed.
I got that. Good. My point is, and on this same record, that's funny. On this same record, the same Sonic Youth record I'm telling you about, which was called Goo, which
Okay.
was when they were
That
on Geffen.
G-O-O group, spelled G-O-O?
Yep.
Cool.
And on that record, so she wrote a song about a girl playing drums. She also wrote a song about Karen Carpenter.
There you go.
So that's fucking
We're
crazy
on the same
that you
page.
asked
I
that.
got a feeling
Totally.
it'll come up.
Anyway, so
Yep.
but anyway, so I didn't whatever blah, and I reviewed albums and went to concerts and I talked to anybody I wanted to talk to for 6 years for free. That was cool. But anyway, so then I decided at 17, after hearing Tony Williams on Miles Davis' 7 Steps to Heaven, I said, I want to do this. So I went to college. I went to Arizona State to learn how to play drums.
Sweet.
And I didn't get
Why did you pick Arizona State? Did they have a program? Was it
I was
someone you
still living there. My parents got divorced when I was 8.
Okay.
Dude, I love you, but let me tell my whole story and then start interrupting me. Let me just get it all out. Anyway, so yeah, I was 8. That happened, and I did back and forth with my brother, my younger brother, back and forth every Christmas, every summer. I was in New York and I was in Phoenix with my mom, blah, blah, blah. We did that whole thing. When it came time for college, I went to Arizona State because that was the cheapest way to do it. And I wanted to play drums, and I took lessons my first semester and they let me into the program. Cool. Did all that. Sophomore year came and I got sat down and said, you're not good enough to be here. And I said, cool, I'm not leaving. So what are we doing? And they said, you could get your BA in music. And I said, great. I said, what does that mean? They said, well, it's the whole deal without the recital requirement. And I said, great. I said, can I take lessons every semester? They said, yeah. I said, can I be in ensembles every semester? They said, yes. I said, great. And I did everything. I did big band, I did small group, I did African drum, I did mallets, I did everything. So by the time I got out, I was 25 and I was playing jazz gigs, restaurant gigs, wedding gigs for $200 a night with guys who hated me, but I was working. I worked every Thursday through Sunday for years on end. The deal was you do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the wedding gig, the restaurant gig, the whatever. Sunday morning, we all did the church gig. Mine was playing percussion with a drummer who was the best buddy of mine, Dave Parks, was fucking amazing. Him and I did that gig every Sunday for 10 years. And I got my pop Beyonce percussion chops from that gig. But we all did, every musician in Phoenix, because it was the same 40 of us playing all these jazz gigs. So I learned tunes, I learned how to work. Like I did the whole deal. And I was substitute teaching during the day, 5 days a week. I was teaching drum lessons when I had a store. I did that for 3 years. That was 3 years. Hold on. That was 3 years of my life. And after 3 years of that, I was like, this is not going to get better. This is not going to be different. And I wanted to go to grad school. Like I wanted a master's, and I just needed to get out of Phoenix because professionally, nothing else was going to happen. So I applied to grad school and I got into Brooklyn College. And I showed up there and sat on a good friend's couch and started my master's and played my first off-Broadway show. This was in October of 2009, and it's 12 years later. So that is like the biggest backstory.
That's awesome. I guess you only need.
And we can talk about.
Yeah, I guess you don't really need much to substitute teach. All you got to have is some college, 2 years of college. I tried it myself years ago.
In New York, it's very different. Phoenix, I lucked out because I learned how to teach out there because I learned on my feet. Out there, you got 3 pieces of paper, and do that in New York was a whole to do when I decided to go back to it. And I went back to it much later. I lived on gigs in New York for about 5 years after my grad program. Okay. I played off Broadway shows up, down, and sideways. That's what I did. So I lived on that. And I got to 2015 and said, I still know how to teach. So I've been substitute teaching for a long time. I teach at the 3 arts high schools in the city, Frank Sinatra Art and Design in LaGuardia. Cool. And we do that. And then I've just been gigging. I mean, I play gigs, jazz gigs. The music that you're going to see in the video is from a quintet that I put together back in 2016, just to have a place to do my own stuff. I'm a jazz head. I'm a hip hop head. I'm an electronic head. After that, Youth and the Kills and all the weird shit. But I wanted a place just to do my own shit because I spend so much time, grateful. I spend so much time playing everybody else's music. So I wanted a place to be able to do my own, to compose a little bit. So I did that. But yeah, man. And like, I don't know, without getting into details because I can't talk about it, but I'm getting ready to sub on Broadway 12 years later. And that's really amazing. And I'm lucky that I gig all the time. Like I make the joke, I'm always drumming someplace because I am. I'm always somewhere. 50. Yeah. Okay. That's it. So that's the whole deal.
And you piqued my curiosity. What do you mean that you had a church gig? Now that had nothing to do with being a religious fanatic, did it? Or just, you were
Oh,
just a-
no,
just a-
I needed money. I
Oh, they
needed
paid you.
money.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe.
They
it was-
needed money.
Okay.
I used to make, and I know this isn't the deal now, but I made a good $500 a month playing percussion every Sunday for 2 hours. I made money
Good,
every,
right?
yeah,
Wow.
that was the gig. That
Wow.
was it. And I was the wrong thing because I'm bisexual, I'm half Jewish, half Christian. I practice nothing. I was the wrong thing. I was the only woman in that band. But the deal was that they knew I was good and my head was together. So
Yeah.
I just kept showing up. But I was the only one in that whole group. It was like 10, fuck it was. No, I didn't give a shit. But I showed up on and played the shit and got the check and life went on.
Cool. Okay.
And I learned how to work. I learned how to every single week. That was real. Like having to do that and
Yep.
going to the Wednesday night rehearsal and be together. Like I learned how to work, not just the church gig, but all the jazz gigs. I learned how to work. Like I learned how to get tunes together quickly.
Yep.
I learned how to operate without rehearsal. Like I learned all that pro shit that by the time I got to New York in 2009, there's no way in hell I would have been able to quickly and get moving. Like I've been a gigging musician in New York City since 2009.
Wow.
Always somewhere. But I learned how to work back in Phoenix, which was good when the stakes weren't as high.
Okay.
That was important. Yeah. So that's the deal.
That's great.
That's
Now,
the story.
That's cool. Take a sip of water. Now, I remember, when we talked on the phone, I asked you if you ever did acting or modeling, and you said no. Would you ever
No.
consider it? I think you'd probably be good at it, but that's just my opinion. And I'm always trying to give advice to my guests that might, help them expand their horizons a little bit. But what do you say?
The closest I got to that is I worked on the TV series Younger
Okay,
on
you did.
HBO.
I know that show.
I did.
Wow.
I did as a drummer.
Yeah.
They needed an all-female band for whatever thing it was with Martha Plimpton and Sutton Foster. And I went and did that for a day and I did it. And I was glad I needed the money, but I was glad to do it. So I did it.
Yeah.
Thank God they hired an all-female band that could actually play because the backing track was like a jazz thing.
Okay.
So it's good that they hired people that knew what the hell they were doing, and that's helpful. So that was cool.
Yeah.
After that, not really my deal. Like I do spoken word and I love to perform, but I'm not, oh my God, that's not the deal. So,
Right.
but I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, well, guess what? We're about that point. We're at that point in the show. We're going to watch a little of Jessie's a video that she's done. So without further ado, we're going to watch it. We'll be right back.
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
talk about it. great. Tell me about, what did we just watch?
Okay, so that was called Concrete, if I gave you
Okay.
the right video. That was, again, every once in a while, I grab that same group, and it's a group of people I've played with in different iterations, most
Okay.
all jazz players, and they do theater, they do all the stuff I do. And that was an original composition of mine. I'm a jazz head. I'm also a big electronic music head. I love drum and bass. I love Mark Juliana, all that kind of breakbeat stuff. That was the place for me to do that.
Okay. Cool. Now, do you, when it comes to your own, do you write your own drum? I mean,
I do.
You do?
I do.
And
I do.
is that any different than writing like lyrics or writing other parts for musicians aside from drum? I mean, obviously drumming is a whole, it intersects with everything else, but it's also, it's a whole other animal. So how do you write, how do you figure out how you get
Because
whatnot?
because again, I was a flute player first a zillion
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago, and then when I was in take class piano and jazz piano,
You did,
super
okay.
helpful when
Okay.
it came time to composing. So I have a piano and electronic keyboard out, and I sit there and I put chords together, and my whole deal is I'm not an amazing melody writer. I am really about chord changes and about
Okay.
groove and about vibe. So, E flat minor 7 and C minor 7 and all that kind of shit. And I'm busy, you can see my hands, meaning chord shapes, and doing that, and using what I know. And I put my chords together first. And then I kind of get my groove together. Like, what kind of vibe? Do I want a hip hop thing? Do I want a jazz? Do I want an electronic thing? Are we doing a Latin thing? What are we doing? And then writing the melody on top. And that's my compositional process.
Cool. Okay. That's interesting. I took piano lessons for 7 years as a kid myself. So I know about reading notes and stuff. And I actually tried writing a song once in 2003 that my old piano teacher critiqued, and it wasn't too bad, but I mean, let's face it, this is my calling right here. All right. What are you currently working on? Are you working on more now? Have you ever done anything classical? I'm just wondering. I mean,
I have, yes. Yeah.
right,
A long
talk
time
about that a
ago.
little bit. Tell me about the classical.
Sure.
Okay.
When I was an undergrad and I was in grad school, I was exposed to a lot of classical music, and I played classical music as a percussionist. I worked on John Cage stuff.
Okay.
I worked on Daniel Barreese stuff. I did some orchestra. I did excerpts from snare drum and mallet parts from famous works from Beethoven and Bach and all those things.
Okay.
I did Bach's partitas as a duo, as a marimba person with another good percussion buddy of mine. Or duo things. So again, I worked on a lot of classical stuff. Yeah, I did. I do know this. I like playing classical music. It's not my listening thing, but I love the challenge. I love the technique.
Have you ever actually performed with an orchestra at all?
No.
You haven't? Okay.
No. You know what? I have, hang on, hold it. All right.
Go ahead.
I have in Phoenix, I performed with the Phoenix Symphony once as a one-shot deal, and that was cool. And I held my own and did well, and that was fine. And that was kind of the end of it. That's okay. But I'm glad that I was able to do it. I'm glad I had an opportunity to learn that material, to work up that material and get to do that. I enjoy playing classical. I love the challenge. I think long-term for me, that didn't make any sense because the orchestra scene is its own deal. And I'm not enough. I can manage percussion on a musical theater show anytime, anywhere. I was not ready to do that as an orchestra player. That's a whole different thing.
Okay. Now you mentioned some other genres of music, like I think you mentioned classical piano. You played that too?
No, enough. I mean, again, because of classical piano and jazz piano classes I had to take while I was an undergrad, I learned enough to be able to compose. But then also I was a mallet player. I had a jazz vibraphone trio in undergrad where it was me on vibes, bass player, and a drummer. And I was carrying it on mallets. So I had enough compositional stuff in my toolbox.
What is a mallet? I should know, but I don't.
That's okay. You want me to grab one and throw it on the screen?
Sure. Go ahead, grab one.
I can. Yeah, hang on.
Yep. I have a feeling I know what it is, but we'll see. She's going to grab a mallet. She's coming right back. Hope she didn't lose it. Ah.
Oh, shit.
All right. You got it? Ah, sweet.
All right. All my percussion buddies that are watching this are going to tell me, bitch, you're wrong. But this is what I own because right now I don't do enough mallet work, so I don't have my shit anymore. These are not marimba and vibraphone mallets. These are cymbal mallets, but that's okay. This will work. That's enough. Yeah, that's what they look like. Yeah.
Sweet.
So Jessie fails, but that's okay. But yeah, no, so my journey is like convoluted and crazy, but I realized, 2022, man, I mean, I just got off a string of gigs from March till last week, like
Awesome.
show to show to show. I had a jazz gig in the middle with an all-female trio. That was super dope. I just got off a Broadway reading, like whatever, like I'm always playing someplace,
Yeah, I guess you're gonna have a pretty busy summer.
It's crazy, but it's not right now, but I think that I'm sure that I will. Stuff always comes. Like even when I think it doesn't, it always comes. And that's how, that's how I feel like I'm doing, that's how I feel like I'm doing something right, because I always get asked to play someplace. I don't go long between gigs. That's great. Like, am I famous? No. Do I care? No. Do people know if they call up Jessie to do the gig, she's going to come professional, prepared, and together? Yes.
That's it. That's all.
And I think that's fine. And that's fine. No, but you know what? I turned 40 in April.
Okay.
It took me till 40 and a lot of
So did
shit.
Kelly Clarkson, by the way.
Huh?
So did Kelly Clarkson. She turned 40 on April
Oh,
24th.
fuck. That's interesting. Yeah, right. Yeah.
1982. I was in my 20s then, so I remember it.
I was born April 16th, 1982. That's my birthday. But what
You
I'm
were
saying is
Friday
that,
then.
like,
You were
yeah,
on Friday.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that, like, it took me till now and all of that work and all of those gig situations to get to now. So like none of it's been a waste. It all made me a better player. It made me think about music differently. It made me approach music differently. It forced me to not get so caught up in the people stuff. Like I'm halfway to 80. Like you want to be, there's a lot that used to, it doesn't anymore. And I think that's important because it clears my head to make me open to more great practicing and more great playing opportunities, but I lived through a lot of shit. I had a lot of people telling me I couldn't do what I've been doing and what I'm getting ready to do.
Nobody wants me. I can do what I'm doing either, including me.
So, yeah. But I had a lot of people telling me I wasn't good enough to do any of this. And I've been doing it since I was 25 and I'm 40. So what you going to tell me? But I had to learn that, and I had to go through a lot of nonsense to get to there. So that's real. And it's a journey. This is a journey.
It is. It totally is. Well, guess what, Jessie? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show.
Uh-huh.
And you did a great job. I hope you had fun talking to me.
Yeah, this was awesome. This is great.
So what I want you to do, because what we're going to do is once the show is on, I don't know if you're still on Facebook, but I'll definitely text you the show when it's done. And you can share with as many people as
I
you
will.
Yeah. So I want you to give a few shouts out to people that are going to see it, because not a lot, but just enough, and we can condense them, and then we can wrap the show up with my music the way I started it.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, huge support to Bill Selleck, Dom Moyo, Ian Rodriguez, Scott Tran, Joe Spatafora, Emily Cohen, Cody Rand, Jeremy Yetta, Tristan Marzecki. Those are my people. Holly Cordero. Those are my people. Yeah.
Sweet.
And all of them are musicians. They're all people they know what this is and know what the journey is. And that's important.
I got to tell you, I get that you're a street smart Brooklyn girl. That's
yes. Yes.
Yeah. I know I get that. All right. Well, if you had fun with me now, because we have Zoom, if you have any of those people that like the show and want to do it either by Zoom or in person, you got my digits now. You can have them text me and we'll set something up.
That would be great. Absolutely.
There's no limit. I did a show to Australia back in December, so we're pretty
nice.
Yeah. That woman's she's going to be reviewed by the New York Times pretty soon as she comes to the States with the writing.
Nice.
Flatline for 4
That's
minutes.
amazing.
It is. That was the story of. I'll send you that show. You can check it out too.
Do it. Yeah.
All right. Now, before I let you go, and before we finish it up, a couple of things. Number one, is there anything you have going on that you want to mention real quick that you might have forgotten about? If not, that's fine.
Not right now because I don't have upcoming gigs, but my website, www.jessmnelson.com.
Okay.
And you'll throw all this crap in the show notes. Cool. That's the thing. And I know that I'll have more gigs coming this summer, and yeah, and thank you so much. Absolutely.
And I have one more request. After we finish the show, will you stick around so we can do pictures for Facebook, even though you're
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
All right, great. All right, well, we're gonna wrap the show up. Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.